the host of the Reba Show on Rema Broadcasting Networks, and we're live at Champions Gate for the 2018 Miss and Mrs. Corporate America. And I'm joined by not just beautiful women, but beauty and brains. All right, so ladies, how are you doing today?
Great.
Awesome.
Excited.
Yes. So thank you ladies for being on the show. All right. So I want to ask first, Tanaj, tell the viewers a little bit about you and where you're from.
Yes, so I'm Tanaj Ferguson, the current Miss Corporate America. When I first was crowned, I was Miss Austin, Texas. I was living in Austin, Texas, completing my master's in business at the University of Texas, and I've since moved to work at the Campbell Soup Company as a brand manager in the Philadelphia area. So now I'm on the East Coast, and it's really great. I'm actually originally from the Bahamas, born and raised, so it's really great to have seen so much of the world. And one of my hobbies is being a bodybuilder.
Oh, nice.
You got pageant queen, and then you have muscle girl going on, a little bit of a dichotomy sometimes.
I love it. I love it. And you, Lulu?
Well, I previously, before doing this pageant, I was in another pageant. I was Mrs. Haiti, because I am Haitian sensation over here.
All right.
But by trade, I am a nurse. I work for retirement communities. I'm an area director. I do run my own company, Lulu Orange Inc., where I train pageant girls. So I do work for the Miss Universe. I am the current director of Miss Universe U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm excited about that new venture. And that's basically it. And I'm currently your Mrs. Corporate America. And a funny story is I tried this 3 times. So third time's a charm. Perseverance is key. That's my message, definitely to the world. If you want something, go after it. Keep trying until you get it.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
And you, Shonda?
I'm Shonda Smith. I am the new Miss Mompreneur 2018. I'm excited to be here this year. This is my first pageant. I really work with young girls ages 7 to 12. My background is in elementary education. I was a 4th grade teacher for about 10 years. I took my skills from the education field and the beauty industry as a cosmetologist, lumped them together to work with younger girls to teach them self-love, teach them how to nurture their bodies and protect their bodies, and those skills that are not often taught in school but so much needed.
Wow, yes, that is very needed. So let me ask you this, Lulu. How did you become interested in pageants?
Oh God, pageants. It's actually, it's the field that I work in now. Obviously, I said that I am a director of Miss Universe. I actually got into pageantry on the campus of Florida State University. I am a Seminole, a graduate.
Oh, my dad would love to hear that.
Good, go Seminoles. So my story, my background is, I just mentioned that I am of Haitian descent. And so I come from humble beginnings. My parents didn't have much. But one thing they taught me was education is key. And so when I got to Florida State University, I didn't want to bother mom and dad about financing my education. I'm a very hard worker, and they didn't have much. So I knew I had to go out there and get on my own. And on the campus, there was a huge flyer that says, do you want to be the next Miss Florida USA? And so I started my journey with Miss Florida USA. That was my very first pageant. I competed in Panama City, Florida, neighboring with Tallahassee, and loved it so much that I became a director, preliminary director for Miss Florida USA system. So I'm a veteran. They would call me as a veteran. I've been in pageantry for over 10 years. And I've been involved with some of the biggest systems in the world. And but I'll tell you this, the Mrs. Corporate America organization is so special to me. And I tell the executive director this all the time. I will never forget this pageant. This is probably one of the best pageants I've ever competed in, because it's so much more. It's about empowering women, women in business. We are all doing great things in our society and contributing to our society positively. She's working with, young girls. Tanaj has such a great background in branding and marketing, and she's a bodybuilder. And so we have a lot that we could bring to the table. And that's what's great about the the Ms. and Mrs. Corporate America system.
So what would you say would make this pageant, I guess, different from all the other pageants that you've been in?
Wonderful question. This is more than about looks. And what I love about this pageant is it's beyond beauty. That is our hashtag, beyond beauty. We are on a mission of celebrating women, no matter your size, no matter your ethnicity. We take everyone. And the other pageants, the superficial of, you got to be in a swimsuit,
Right,
you got to be a
right.
certain size. This is not this pageant. This pageant celebrates beauty, and it's just all about your inside and out. And so that's what makes this pageant a little different than others. Come as you are.
I think that's what I really do
Yeah.
love about this pageant, is coming as you are and really capturing that inner beauty that you just spoke about. And so, Tanaj, what made you interested in pageants? What brought your attention to it?
So I did not have pageant experience at all and never really knew that much about
Right.
pageants except for what I saw on TV. But I got to witness Miss Corporate America 2015, Charlene. I got to witness her reign, and she did such a great job at promoting the organization through her own work, through her own platform, that I was really attracted to the work and the kind of person that it attracted. She was like, in my mind, she was the ultimate Miss Corporate America. And Charlene reached out to me and said, you really should consider this organization. So through her, I learned more about it, and I felt this was already something that's so strongly aligned with my goals. It was already something that's so strongly aligned with my mission and vision. I was like, I really want to be a part of this. Like, this is all about women empowerment, like Lulu mentioned. Developing women leaders, and I said, this is something I want to be associated with. This is something I want to help to grow. It's something I want to help push forward. I was already doing a lot of it, being a part of a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. That is also about sisterhood. It's all about leadership and development. So I was familiar with what that sisterhood could look like, what that leadership platform could look like, and I wanted to be able to do it for business. I love that we're rooted in the development of women in business and their skills, connecting them, engaging with them, promoting them, sharing the stories that don't get to be shared all the time. So that's really what attracted me to the organization. It was a good fit, and it was different in that way. It comes with lots of workshops and development opportunities,
right.
and we're young. So it's an 11-year-old organization. It's not like the others that are like very well known and very established. We're still developing, so we're able to meet the needs of 21st century women. And that's why Miss Corporate America is dedicated to corporate women climbing the corporate ladder, but also those building their own empire. Today, the 21st century women, I can count how many friends only have one job. So many women are starting their own organizations and their own companies, and they're creating the dreams that they would like to see. They're creating their own future corporate organizations. These are companies that are not staying small. So I love that we celebrate corporate women as well as those with startups, because that is the modern woman today, and we are on the cutting edge of being able to support and build that evolving woman.
Right, the Renaissance woman.
The Renaissance woman.
Yes, I mean, look,
The millennial
mompreneur.
woman. Yes.
I mean, we're celebrating
Yes.
moms as well,
That's
which
so
is
important.
great.
That's something you haven't
moms
seen
that
before.
are in business, which I
Yes.
love.
Yes. So, Shonda, how did you become interested in pageants?
Doing exactly what I do. I had never been in a pageant before. I had no idea about the whole pageant culture, but following my dreams, doing what I do with my gifts and talents. I'm a hairstylist in one of my professions, and just stumbled across one of the ladies that's on the board, and she saw some of the things that I was doing in business, and she mentioned, have you ever thought about being in a pageant? And I said, well, maybe when I was 18, but I have children, I've sacrificed a lot. And she said, well, perfect, because our type of pageant celebrates women who have children. Our type of pageant celebrates women who are doing great things in business, and that's exactly what I was doing. So that's how I got involved. I'm so happy to be here.
Womanhood, just
Yes.
celebrating women. So, what was the process like for you?
To get started, I applied, went through resumes,
Yes.
submitting the information for resumes, submitting letters of recommendation from women and moms that had been in my organization with the Girls Empowerment Workshops, I am the CEO of the Queen and Me, which is my baby business that I'm growing. I took a huge leap away from my full-time job teaching, which was very scary. But I'm so glad that I made that step. It landed me here to be recognized for that. So
That is awesome. That is awesome. So what about you, Lulu? What was the process like?
Well, it was a 3-year journey, the process. And it's so funny because we're on the panel here and you hear that it's their first time.
Yes.
And then you have a veteran that it took 3 times to win. And so you could see that it's not about that you need to have pageant experience to be involved in this pageant. You could have never competed in a pageant and still go home with a crown. And I love that because I came here, thinking, hey, I've been in a lot of pageants, Miss Florida USA, I've been, Miss Haiti International or whatnot, and I'm gonna come home and take this crown. So it was a humbling experience that, no, it's not about that. It's about, we wanna hear your vision. We wanna hear your mission. What are you gonna do to take Miss and Mrs. Corporate America to the next level? So I had to learn that. And so my journey was long, but it was great.
It was a great one.
3 years of great friendships, being with the organization. I definitely want to assist them even after we're done. So for me, it was a growing process. They had to break me down a little, and I had to understand, and I think each year I've done great. I always believe God's timing is the right timing. It wasn't my time 3 years ago, when I started competing. It was my time last year on the 10th year anniversary. And so that was my journey. It's been a great one though.
Awesome, awesome. And what about you, Tanash? What was the process like?
Yeah, very similar. So the Miss and Mrs. Corporate America pageant process runs pretty similarly. The Mompreneur is one that's online, and that's something new. We were talking about how we're so happy that we have this category and have it designed the way it is. So for me, once Charlene and I connected, and typically that's how you connect. One of the queens or an ambassador of some sort, a previous queen even will reach out to you once you identify that you're interested. Fill out the application. It makes you think. From the beginning, it makes you think because they ask you right out the bat, what would you do? You share your resume, talk about your background and why you're the right person. So I think it's also, our process is very reflective in and of itself. Then day one, day two, you come, you do welcome. Day two, you come and it's interviews. So we also immediately want to learn more about your background, more about your plans, everything Lulu mentioned, your mission and vision. That's really important for Miss Corporate America to really peel the onions back and really understand your layers, because since we are beyond beauty, you can't just come on the pageant day and present face. We want to understand the stories behind it, because what this pageant does for women is really inspire them. So we love to hear that underdog story of Lulu trying 3 times. That makes me look at my life and say, what have I tried and failed a few times? Has it been 2 or 3?
Fail forward.
Am I done? Like, what can I improve in order to come out and win? Because you hear these stories and you're able to apply it to different parts of your life. So we, it definitely inspires you. So my process, the process in and of itself is a growing experience. It is something, because I was doing it for the first time, I was learning as I was going. I think I was extra sensitive to the process because I was like, I want to do this right. Let me do my research. Let me reach out to folks that have been a part of this, women that have done this in the past, and get myself prepared and organized, understanding what I'm being a part of. But there's still element of it's the first time, you don't exactly know. So just kind of, having a spirit of flexibility and just being excited about what the journey can reveal for you. It's really a leap of faith for most women. You don't know what it's going to be like, so you have to put yourself out there and do your best at branding yourself in a way that makes sense, understanding the organization, doing your research, and then coming here ready to network, ready to give. You're going to get out of the process what you put in it. That's definitely what we could all say. The more you're going to give to it, and the more you plan, the more you connect with other companies and even your organization beforehand, and understand what is that loop, you're going to get more out of it. And then it won't be this long time of, how do I fit this organization into my life? It's already a part of it if you're doing it right. I was already doing a lot of the work that Miss Corporate America is about before I got the crown. So most of the women that are attracted to the organization, they already live and breathe this world, and they're using it to amplify their platforms.
So what do you think this pageant does for other women Tanaj, what do you think? And then I'll have Lulu answer, and then Shonda.
Sure. So like I mentioned, I think the biggest piece is inspiration. Hearing she's done it 3 times, hearing I've done it once. We really take the barriers away from them and let them realize it really is about what you bring to the table. And I feel like we've said that a lot recently.
Yeah.
It is really about the value that you bring to the organization.
Right,
And so that can look all kinds of different ways since we celebrate all kinds of women. Definitely from my reign, I can tell you that so many women are impressed that I even went for the opportunity and are taking on such a big title. Because what I find is in the corporate world, you would think so many women would see it and want to be a part of it. They're still nervous and afraid.
Because I heard you ladies have to like dance, like practice a routine and get it like next day. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Definitely something different, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be quick on your feet.
So really quick, Lulu, what about you? What do you feel like this pageant does for other women?
This pageant is great because it's great because it's networking. We come from different backgrounds, and I'll give you an example. Yesterday during the orientation, we all got up and we talked about our backgrounds, and we come from all different areas, and some of us are going through a lot.
Yeah.
Some of us are going through. We have some that have lost their dad, their mom. Some who has
Just tough
kids,
times.
children with has a child with autism. These are the stories that we heard yesterday. And sometimes just being in the place and being around the atmosphere of encouraging women just takes you to the another level of encouraging that yes, I can get up and go. I can get up and do
it.
And that's what this organization does. It's more than a pageant. It's not about that. It's really being around women.
It's like a family.
It's a family.
Yeah, it's like a
Celebrating
family.
each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
You are not alone. And I always think, for me, I go back to my humble beginnings because I came from not a lot, where I'm in a household where English is not the first language, and we had to adapt and learn everything. And we're not the product of our circumstances.
Right.
We can get out, we can go, and being in an environment where we foster that and that, hey,
And you
sister,
have that support.
I am your sister's keeper.
Right. Yeah,
We're
I
going to
love that.
support you.
I love that. And Shonda, you?
So for me, what this organization does, well, a couple things. First, I realized when I came here this week that I was not alone anymore. A lot of times in entrepreneurship, the higher up you make it in corporate, you're alone. And that's one of the character traits of being an entrepreneur, especially in the beginning before you build that team. But when I made it here, I felt the embrace of all the ladies. It did not at all feel like a competition. Would you guys
It felt like a
agree?
family out here.
It
I
didn't
hear
feel
the
like a
family.
competition. It was a lot of
That team
networking,
camaraderie, yeah.
a lot of laughter, a lot of getting to know people,
Right.
the things that they're going through, what their passions and their unique visions are. So it definitely gave that. But then also for me, my hat goes off to every woman in business because it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, whether it's corporate or entrepreneurship.
It's not.
Right.
But mompreneurs have a special place in my heart because we do this along with balancing and juggling the responsibilities of raising
of a
children.
family.
And I have 5. So being embraced and being able to bring my little ones here and just
And let them see.
having this platform, it's a great organization to be a part of.
Awesome, awesome. So what was your platform, Lulu, for the competition?
For Lulu,
I'm sorry, Lulu, Shonda.
Shonda.
Well, let's start with Shonda. What was your platform?
what I do outside of here. So I work with young girls, teaching them self-love.
Oh, so that was your platform,
That's my
for the
platform.
actual,
That's my
okay,
platform.
got it,
How to
okay.
protect their bodies,
Okay.
identifying their gifts and talents.
Okay.
That.
Okay, and what about you, Lulu? What was your
Mine is
platform?
instilling positive core values in our youth to help them be successful in any endeavors that they choose, and also mentoring young women, because when I was younger, I sought out mentors.
Okay.
And mentorship is huge for me, and I still do it. I use pageantry as a vehicle because I'm a veteran in the field, and so I'm around women, young
Okay.
women all the time, and so that was my vehicle, my platform,
That was
so
your platform.
mentoring young women.
Mentor, and you, Tanaj?
For me, it was diversity and leadership in business. Working at a Fortune 500 company, there's not a lot of minorities that are in management and above. So for me, helping to expose others, and on the mentorship piece, making sure younger girls understand that they can aspire to be that, and what are those next steps. And for my counterparts, making sure we are connecting with each other so that we truly are not alone in those leadership positions where we don't see a lot of each other at our individual companies, but if we look at each other collectively, we realize we're a larger tribe,
So let me ask you a question. Shonda, do you normally agree with the judges?
With the judges?
For the pageants? Is it like, do you normally agree with them or?
Well, we probably don't always agree with the judges, but they're judges.
I'm asking everybody too.
They're judges for a reason.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. And so, what is life like being a title holder?
Well, as you can see, I am Mrs., so that means I am married. And so my life as a title holder as a married woman, and first of all, the men do compete too.
Oh, wow.
No,
Okay.
as a Mrs., they do walk you out on stage in your evening gown. It's a beautiful thing. Marriage is wonderful. And so I love that this organization, this pageantry, brings out the husbands on stage and they escort their wives. So they present their wives to the audience. And that's wonderful because it's a partnership. If I'm Mrs. Corporate America, he's Mr. Corporate America. Okay, so he's doing, So it's what it's like to be a title holder. I get up and I go to work. I have to juggle work. I have to juggle being a title holder. I juggle my own entrepreneurship ventures with Lulu Orange Inc., mentoring young women. And so we juggle a lot of different hats, and that's the 21st century woman, as Tanaj said. And so, we juggle every day and we make it work.
So, Tanaj, this was your first pageant.
Yes.
As it being your first pageant, do you feel as though you need a pageant coach? Some people may say, okay, they need pageant coaching. Do you feel like that's necessary to have a coach, or?
That's a really good question, and I think it depends on who you are. So I definitely think you could always develop. So if you have someone in your area who is able to be that leader, you should take the opportunity in order to just learn a little bit more and feel more prepared. I think you can definitely get some of that wisdom from doing some calls. But if you have an actual coach that is aware of this arena, the pageant world, or can even do interview skills with you, that's a great opportunity to put your best foot forward. I'm a fan of developing and improving, and if something matters to me, I practice, because I think practice helps you be more confident. So, I was in business school and I had an interview coach. I had someone working with me on poise, and I think that was helpful for my confidence because I wasn't doing it for the first time. I would say ladies who've done it for the first time or just really want this opportunity badly, it's an opportunity to develop. Say you don't win the crown, you still have improved your skills for the next time. So I definitely see lots of value in getting support and help, whether it's someone you're paying for or someone who's going to volunteer to say, I'll go over questions with you, I'll look at your walk and critique it. I think having that outside perspective will improve you no matter what, because it's another opportunity to practice, learn, and improve your craft, definitely.
So, Shonda, what message would you like to, or advice you could give to someone who's never been in pageantry before? They are a mom, they have a business, but maybe they're a little nervous and they're scared. What kind of advice could you give them to say, you can do this?
I was nervous. I was scared, I was reluctant, I was hesitant, and I still did it. Sometimes you have to look fear in the eye and do it anyway. I have this thing about fear. Whatever gives me that feeling, I make myself do it just because.
That's right.
And that's the advice I would give.
That's right. Now, Lulu, what are you looking to see from the contestants this year? Because you're handing off your crown, right?
Yes.
You're a current queen.
Yes. For the contestants this year, I'm very big on interaction, interaction with the other contestants, just to see, to feel, to see how they deal with the other women, because we're a unit together, and we need to support each other. So I want to see what their character traits are, also what they're already doing in their communities. Are they out there? Are they serving the community? Because as title holders, we serve our communities, and that's really huge. We want corporate America to really be out there. And volunteering for your local city, even national if you could. And then what's your plan? How are you going to take Ms. and Mrs. Corporate America to the next level?
Love that. And you're also handing off your crown too as well, right?
I am.
So what are you looking to see from the contestants this year?
So I'm definitely looking for strategy Because again, we're done with we're into our 11th year. We're looking for someone who understands how do we get it into the 21st century? How do we capture millennials? For the next few years, Miss Corporate America is going to be a millennial woman, and it's really important for us to understand social media and make sure we're targeting our future contestants where they are, and also we're captivating our audience. We want to be helping women in business, so we have to understand them, know where they are, speak their language, be on the platforms they're at. So I want to see strategy for all those different outlets and make sure that person is prepared, and I want to support them as well. So we're prepared. All of us are prepared to support them. It's not an easy job. We talked about juggling. It's demanding. We want to support them, and we want to see them with strategy that we can see the plan, the 30, 60, 90 days, the 1 year. We want to see that so we can help them fill in the gaps and make their vision clear for their reign.
Awesome. Now, Shonda, I'm just going to ask you ladies some questions, just kind of get a little personal, some little fun, interesting questions. All right, so the first question is for you, Shonda. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Paris.
Paris.
That's on my list. I want to go there sooner than later. It's the land of romance and romance in the heart. And I can't wait to be that woman under the red umbrella with my heels up in front of the Eiffel Tower. Of course, smooching my Mr. Mompreneur.
I love it. Awesome. And now there's another question I would like to ask you. It's like a pageantry question. If you were elected the President of the United States, what would you do in office? What would be the first thing you would do?
I would definitely target the school system.
Yes.
I just have to, coming out of the public school system, and if I have the opportunity to be the president, I spotlight some things with the school system that definitely need to be adjusted. I would say that word kindly. I would also put in some curriculums that specifically teach young girls and boys, I focus on girls, but protection of their body. That's really important to me.
Yes.
I feel like sexual education is taught in middle school and high school, but outside of that, we need to know some preventative measures, and that's definitely something I would put into the school system early on.
Awesome. Now, Tanaj, 3 words that best describes you.
These are the 3 words that I actually use for my name. So tenacious is one of them for sure. Ambitious is one. And let me mix it up on this 3rd one. Energetic.
Yes, energetic. Yeah, I can just see it. You're bubbling that energy.
A good one.
I love it. Now, for you, if you were elected the President of the United States, what would be the first thing you would do when you were in office?
Definitely, I would get educated on immigration in America, as also I am from the Bahamas, so my dad is American, I'm Bahamian American as well, but I look at how we talk about immigrants, and also I look at America and how much immigrants have contributed to this country, and I would be interested in how can I educate myself on what is that healthy balance of us welcoming others into the country and hosting them into the country. So my first thing would be to educate myself on immigration so that I can improve the culture and really our sensitivity towards other cultures in the country.
Awesome. All right, now Lulu. Yes. All right. So who is your role model?
Oh God,
Talk about role models.
My mother is my role model, as cliche as it sounds, and I will repeat this over and over. And we're talking about immigration. When someone can leave their country to come to an unknown land, that is huge. And she made an opportunity for us, and I will always remember her for that. And I was the first to graduate college at Florida State University. Like I said, I had to find scholarship opportunities, and that's what I did. That's why I entered my pageant, because they were giving scholarship money at Florida State University. So I was trying to pay, the semester. I didn't want to call mom. And so my mother is my role model, always. Love you, Mommy.
All right, so for you, if you were elected the President of the United States, what would be the first thing you would do in office?
Well, great. Well, besides the immigration issue, since my sister touched on that, the glass ceiling for women. We should be paid equally to our male counterparts. We are still paid 70 cents on the dollar less than our male counterparts. Come on. we got to get that
better.
together. We got to do better. It doesn't matter what gender we are. If I have the skill set to get paid for the job, pay me for what I'm worth. And we have to get there as a nation. And it's sad that we're still not there yet.
Yes, that is so sad. But I feel like women, we can get it right. We can do it right.
It's coming. We're making progress.
Girls rock. We making progress.
Right now
we're inching, but we making progress.
Yes.
Enrollment in college, so they're definitely
We're making progress. Right. All right. So, Tanasia, what is next for you?
So I mentioned I graduated with my MBA last year and have started a new job as associate brand manager at Campbell's. So I really want to grow my career. I have lots of great aspirations for how I can continue to grow my visibility by demonstrating what a woman in business is like. I think a big part of talking the message is walking it, right? Walking the lifestyle. So the more I'm able to break barriers within my career and break the glass ceilings that Lulu was talking about that we know are real, I'm going to be able to demonstrate through my life. And as I continue to mentor girls and as well as connect with other women, I also will continue to be involved with the mission of Miss Corporate America. So as I do that in my own life, it will continue to be a strong message that inspires more and more women and inspires different women. So I'll be growing my career as well as continuing on with this mission in my own life in Philadelphia.
Awesome, Philly. Hi. All right. And Shonda, what about you? What's next for you?
Well, what's immediately next for me is the crowning ceremony tomorrow night.
Yes.
Then I will be official.
New Miss Mom
Well, thanks for coming on.
New one.
And moving forward from that, I am going to shine my light for Miss Corporate America.
I love it.
I'm going to shine my light for young girls and shine my light for women in business, moms, just being an example, continuing to do what I'm passionate about. I cannot wait.
Awesome. That is fabulous. And what about you, Lulu? What's next?
Wow. Well, I definitely want to stay on with the Mrs. Corporate America organization to assist them maybe on the board and help them grow. That's a passion of mine right now. I also am directing a Miss Universe pageant, which we know is seen by millions of people in the world. I am
really quickly, what is that like? Being kind of in both Miss Universe.
You know what? As Ms. Corporate America, during my reign, I had many opportunities come to me, and this was one of them. This is my lucky charm. This sash, you know. So doing both is a lot. You know, I am giving up the crown, so I do have a little more time to give to that venture because it is quite a big venture. The pageant is seen by millions around the world, as we know. I had the opportunity to coach our first runner-up of Miss Universe, Raquel Pellissier. We almost won. Miss Haiti, she represented Miss Haiti Universe.
Right, Haiti.
And we were very excited. We got first runner-up. We were almost there. France beat us out, but it's okay. So I'm going to continue doing that. Also with my company, Lulu Orange Inc., mentoring young women and still branching out. My husband and I was just on House Hunters for HGTV.
Oh, nice.
We were just on the episode in October. It's fun. They keep rolling it, so I think they like us. You know, I played the villain for whatever reason. My husband looked like he was a good guy. However, it was a great opportunity. I do love television. We did very good on the episode. So I do see a little bit more television for me in the future that I'm going to venture out in. And hopefully grow a family. I think it's time.
Well, Hades taking the crown next year.
Yes.
Hades taking the crown next year.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's been such a pleasure just talking with you ladies. I mean, I really enjoyed this royal conversation. That's what I'll call it. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to all of our viewers for watching. If you would like to participate, sign up, be a contestant, you can go to MissCorporateAmerica.com. That's www.MissCorporateAmerica.com. All right, viewers, until next time, take care.